Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to risk management. This is one of the most important videos. Like, it's the most important video. I want everyone to really pay attention to every word I say. Make sure you guys are taking notes because, like, I'm being serious. This is like the gem. I'm being like so serious. It's all about risk management. So let's get straight into this video. So first thing first, what even is risk management? Well, risk management is the idea where you're minimizing you're risking a certain amount of percent each trade in order to sustain your account balance long term. So for example, if I have a $1,000 account and I want to use risk management, that means that I have to calculate a certain amount of lot size that I can use per trade and make sure that I'm always risking 1% of my account. Now, if I wasn't using risk management, I would be and had a $1,000 account, I would simply be using multiple lot sizes, crazy lot sizes that my account can't handle. For example, with a 1K account, if you're dropping a 5 lot, you'll easily lose that money in like one trade, right? That's way too much. Your account doesn't have the margin to handle that. So with a $1,000 account, you have to calculate and really um smartly choose which lot size you're choosing depending on your pips that your stop loss is. So right here we have four different trades. Now the first one, we get stopped out for -1%. We take the buy position, but the market does end up stopping us out. Now, whatever, we're -1%, who cares? Now, the second trade, we lose once again. We're -1%, the market stops us out. Remember, we're only risking 1% each trade. Ah, my bad. So, yeah, we're risking 1% each trade. Now the third trade we take, where at this point your psychology and mentality and discipline is going to be tested a lot, and this is why I always say discipline is key in this game. Now the third trade we take, you get stopped out once again. The market, you take a sell, it goes your way, and then boom, the market takes you out. So at this point, you took three trades and they all stopped you out. Now you're not really going to be thinking about how much you lost. You're mostly just going to be thinking about in your head like, damn, I'm losing all these trades. Is trading even for me? Like, is my strategy working? Like, what's wrong with my trading style? How come it isn't working? So like I said, your psychology and mentality is going to be tested a lot, and this is where you seriously need discipline. And I always encourage everyone to start off the demo with a $100 account and try your best to take that account seriously, act like it's a live account, and trade with it, use proper risk, and we'll get into how we're going to use proper risk. So we took three trades, each one stopped us out. 1%, 1%, 1%. So we're -3% for the day. Now, for the next trade we take, the market comes up and we take the sell. Now this sell that we did catch, the market completely tanks all the way down to our TP, and this one brought in about 15%. This was a 1 to 5. Well, it's theoretical obviously, but this one brought us in about 15%. So what I'm trying to show you guys is that it doesn't matter about how big or small your stop loss is. What matters is your lot size. You could use a 10 pip stop loss and use a crazy lot size, and that'll still equip to more than 1% of your account, right? Or you could use a really big stop loss, for example, like 100 pip stop. I know this is theoretical, don't actually do this, but you could use a 40 pip stop, 100 pip stop loss. But if you're still accounting for your 1% of your account, meaning you're only using a lot size where even if you do get stopped out for 100 pips, it will only lead to you losing 1% of your account, then it's fine. So notice how my stop loss is generally 10 times or 5 times smaller than my take profit. My TP is always, always, always 5 times my risk. You always need to make sure that your take profit is really worth it. If the trade isn't giving you at least a 1 to 5, it's not worth it, right? So for example, if I did use horrible risk management, and I have a $1,000 account, I used a one lot for this, one lot for this, one lot for this, and I'm getting stopped out left and right. Most likely I'd be -50% on my account, right? And I know it's hard to understand that, but that's the truth, right? Risk management is where everything comes in together and helps you stay in this game long term. Now, once we did get stopped out 3 times, we're -3%. Even though we lost 3 trades, it's still small. It's -3%. Now, we did finally catch that one big major move down. That's all it takes. All you need is one big trade, and that'll make you back everything you lost, the 3%, and give you profit. So 15%, how much did we make out of that? So we lost 3, right? So 14, 13, 12. That means you made 12% and you only won one single trade. isn't that crazy that you don't even need to have a good win rate? Because that's something that a lot of mentors lie to you about. It's not about the win rate, it's about the risk management. You can have a 30% win rate, a 20% win rate, a 10% win rate. It doesn't matter. The win rate of a strategy does not tell you anything. And most likely, if someone says that you can get a 90% win rate doing this, they're lying to you. It's all in risk management. Now, how do you actually use risk management? That's the real question. So now we do understand that we want to be using proper lot sizes and use a proper stop loss before we take the trade, and we only want to risk about 1% of our account every single trade, and our TP should generally be 10 times or 5 times our risk. We understand that, but one thing we have to also understand is our stop loss and which lot size to use. So let's say that this is a 40 pip stop loss, correct? And I have a $1,000 account, and I'm telling you guys to risk 1% of your account. Well, this is where Google comes in. So what I want everyone to do is type in your account balance. So yeah, this is some schoolwork I was doing. But type in your account balance. So let's say you have a $1,000 account, right? So what I want you to do is type in 1% and then of your account balance. So 1% of $1,000. What is that? $1, right? Yeah, $1. So 1% of $1,000 is $1, right? Hold on, give me a quick second. Sorry, I did that completely wrong. My math was off. It's actually $10. So 1% of $1,000 is $10. So now you know that the max amount you're willing to risk on this trade is $10. Now my rule of thumb is you never want to risk more than 2% on a trade. Like, never. Don't risk more than 2%. Like, don't do it, trust me. So if you wanted to risk 2%, you could have risked $20. Now you have a 43 pip stop loss. A 43 pip stop. If you have a 43 pip stop and you're only willing to risk about $10 or $20, let's open the calculator and let's see which lot size we can use. So this may take some time, but yeah, bear with me. So we have a 40 pip stop loss, right? Sorry about that. So we have a 40 pip stop loss, and we know that we can only risk about $10 for this specific trade. So what we want to do at this point is we want to take every single lot size that, for example, the mini lot, the standard lot, the micro lot, and we just want to do the calculations of how much $10 will equip to. So 43 times, let's say I wanted to use a 0.10, which is $1 per pip. So multiplied by 1.00. That's $43, so I can't use a 0.10. That means that's 4%. That's 4% of my account. I can't use it. Let's say I want to use a 0.05. That means it's 0.50 multiplied by 43 pips. That's $21. So that means that's 2% of my account. So if I want to risk 2% of my account, I can use a 0.05, right? So that means I can use a 0.05 and that'll only be 2% of my account. If I don't want to use a 0.05, I want to use a smaller risk, what I can do is I can use any stop loss, or any lot size that's smaller than 0.05. So for example, I could use a 0.04, a 0.03, a 0.02, a 0.01. So even though the lot sizes that you are using are pretty small, this is what's going to keep you in the game long term. So we get stopped out once, that's $10. You get stopped out a second time, that's another $10. You get stopped out a third time, that's another $10. You're about $30 down on your account right now, which is that's like $970. You have like $970, $980, I don't know, because it's a 1K account, so you'd be down about $980, $970 right now. That's $30 gone in your account. But boom, right over here, price comes in, you get into your position, and then you make 15% on your 1K account. So now you guys know how to find out which which lot size you want to use, right? I'm gonna go over this one more time if that was confusing. For your whatever stop loss you are using, for example, let's do this one, 49 pip stop loss, right? Let's go to calculator. 49 pip stop loss, and I only want to risk 1%. That means I can only risk $10 of my account. Remember, whatever your account balance is, type in 1% of that account balance. So if you have an account balance of 200, just type in 1% of 200, $2, right? If you have an account balance of 4,000, type in 1% of 4,000, which is $40. So get your stop loss, which is 49 pips, and with that stop loss, start doing the math of start doing the math of which lot size you're willing to use or what you can use. So $10 is what we're willing to risk. That means I have to use a stop loss or a lot size that equals to $10 that matches with my stop loss. So 49 pip stop loss, so 49 multiplied by, let's say, a 0.05, right? So that's 0.50. So 49 times 0.50. That's 24 bucks. I can't use it. That's too big. So 0.05, or sorry, 0.30 multiplied by 49. That's $14. That's 1.5%, which I could easily use. That means I could use this. It makes sense. That's $14. I'm risking 1.5% is fine. You can, like, the range is 1% to 2%. Anything above 2%, you don't want to take it. So the max lot size I can use is 0.03, and I can use anything underneath that. Let's say we made 700 pips on this. 0.30 multiplied by 700. We just made $210 off of this 15% trade. Obviously, I don't know if it would actually be 50%. This is just theoretical. But you just made 210 bucks off of risking $14.05. And you made back all the money you lost. So the 30, 30, 30, or 10, 10, 10, that means $30 you lost. You just made it all back with one big trade. So you don't need to worry about trying to be accurate all the time. You don't have to be accurate. What you have to be is consistent with your risk management. If your risk management is not consistent, then you won't be consistent, right? It's all about mentality and discipline, not the strategy. So what I want everyone to do is, before you do take a trade, find out what your account balance is. You can easily do that on your MetaTrader. Go to Google, type in what is 1% of my account balance. Now let's say you find a trade. Let's go to the charts, right? Let's say I find a trade right over here. Like, I want to take a buy position right here at this open, and then my stop loss is just going to be the low of this wick. That's 68 pips. And my TP, it has to be 5 times my risk. If it's not 5 times my risk, I'm not looking to get in. So let's target the next high. That is now 7 times my risk. So, and I'm risking about 68 pips, and I have an account balance of 1,000. Let's see what's the smallest or the biggest lot size I can use. 0.0 let's do 0.30 multiplied by 60. What is that? That's 18 bucks. I can use that. You know, I can use 0.30 because that's still in the range of 1.5% that I'm risking. So I can use a 0.30, meaning I'm risking $18 to make about, let's see how much that would be. 0.30 multiplied by 528. That's about $158 that you're potentially making, and you're only risking 18 bucks. So that's where risk management comes in. And like I said, it's so easy. You can get stopped out right over here and the market goes your way. That's fine. Let's say you find another opportunity right here. You get stopped out once again. Right here you get stopped out once again. Whatever. Go on to the next trade. You're only negative 2%, and then one big trade makes you all that money you lost back. Now I also want to get into, when you are in a trade, how to manage it. I want to talk about moving your stop loss to break even, taking partials, and setting a take profit, obviously. So generally with your take profit, you usually want to target the next high. So if you are in a uptrend, and let's say I'm getting in for a buy opportunity right over here, right? I generally would want to target the next high or higher. So let's say my entry is right over here. My stop loss shouldn't be too big. It should be, you know, pretty small compared to my TP. And my TP needs to be the next high. I can target more. I can target way higher than that, but it has to be the next high. If the next high isn't like high enough where you're not getting 5 times your risk, then don't take the trade opportunity. It's not worth it. Now, you guys know how to obviously do that. So let's say we do get into this trade. We're in this trade right now, and the market completely goes in our direction right away. Now, this should be about 160 pips in profit. Now, it did end up falling, so we'd be in about like 95 pips in profit. So at this point, what I recommend is, if the trade is going your way and you're in deep profits can, you know, depending on what your TP is, deep profits, it all depends on your TP. So this is a 200 pip TP. 90 pips is deep. In my opinion, that's a lot of money that's left on the table. If you are in 2 times or half of your, if you're close half to your TP, meaning that price made half its way towards your take profit, at that point I want everyone to take partials. Partials means taking 50% off. Take partials or move your stop loss to break even, one of those two. If you're not comfortable in the trade anymore, let's say you're worried that the market is going to stop you out, one thing I want you to do is move your stop loss to your entry. That way, even if the market does take you out, you lose nothing. Now, if you're worried about time, then that's also simple. Take 50% off of your trade. Trail your stop loss into profit. So, for example, if the market is right over here and I'm worried about the market tanking down and stopping me out, I can take 50% off of my trade. So if I used a 0.010 as my lot size, all I have to do is close 0.05 of that, which is 50%. So now I only have 0.05 running. Sorry, 0.05 running, and I took money as well. So money came to me. I took some money and put it in my pocket. That way, even if the market does reverse and stop me out, one, I'll get stopped out at break even, and I still made money at the end of the day. Two, if I trail my stop loss into profit, meaning I put my stop loss, above my entry, which is, you could do that, I'll still, even if I do get stopped out, I'll still make money at the end of the day. So remember, you can never lose if you're taking partials and you're moving your stop loss to break even. If the market has moved, I'm not going to say a specific pip increment of when you should move your stop loss to break even, because some people might take scalps for about 15 pips, right? So it all depends on what your TP is. If your TP is 100 and the market came 45 pips in profit, move your stop loss to break even. That's half of what your TP is, right? If your price is at 35 pips and your TP is about 60 pips, move your stop loss to break even, take partials. Now, if you're just in small profits, like for example, your TP is 200 pips and the market moves about like 15 pips in your favor, don't move your stop loss to break even unless you're having like emotional issues where you can't control the loss or you can't control the trade. Your mentality isn't the best, and at that point I recommend everyone to move your stop loss to break even or close your phone and let the trade run and do its thing. So thank you guys so much for watching about risk management. Remember, you always want to make sure your TP is triple or 5 times your risk. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a good one.